So let's continue the topic ahead. Now we will talk about this Brodmann's area number 6. So this Brodmann's area number 6, you can see here, this is the Brodmann's area number 6 on the superior lateral aspect of this hemisphere. Here you can see, as well as you can see on its medial aspect here, area number 6. So this area 6 is the main site. It has a main site for cortical origin of extra pyramidal fibers. Clear? So what are that? They are cortico-rubral. I'm writing in a short. It's a cortico-rubral, cortico-olivary, and cortico-nigral. Clear? As you are aware of this, that the posterior to this premotor area here is the area number 4. So this area number 4 is the primary motor area. This is the primary motor area. So this premotor area and this primary motor area together, they are known as primary somatomotor area. This is primary somatomotor area. Clear? And this is represented by this way, capital M, then small s, then number 1. Clear? What this premotor area do? So what this premotor area do? This is a question which is often asked during the viva. So this premotor area, what it do? This area control the voluntary activity of area number 4. Clear? So the function of this to control the voluntary activity. So the action of this area number 4 primary motor area is the voluntary activity of the opposite side of the body. So this premotor area number 6, control the voluntary activity of area number 4. So how this premotor area do this? So this premotor area do by the proper planning, that is the planning of the programming. So it do the programming for the area number 4. What activity have to be done by this way, or want to do this activity by this way, whatever the thing the area 4 have to do, it is all done under the certain program, and that program is designed by the premotor area. Clear? So one activity is that programming, second is the controlling. Clear? Controlling the voluntary activity of area number 4. Let me give you one example. Say if you want to insert a thread in a needle, okay, so how precisely your motor activity of that other side of the hand, your hand have to follow in a guided pathway, so that you can insert that thread in the needle. The guided pathway means what you learn from your past. Clear? So this premotor area do the planning, controlling by the experiences of your past. Clear? So this way you have to insert the thread in the needle. Clear? What will be the effect of the lesion? So if any lesion for this area number 6, what will be its effect? The effect of the lesion will be this, that the area number 4 will fail to perform its activity in a skilled manner. Okay, in a skilled manner, fail to perform. Clear? Am I clear? Area number 8. So this area number 8, Brodmann's area number 8, is also known as frontal eye field area. So this frontal eye field area we can see here. This is anterior to area number 6, and here on this superior medial aspect, as well as it has an extension here on the medial aspect. You can see here. So this, let me clear you before I go in the further. See this frontal eye field, it has no any relation with this visual area, any stimuli to this visual area. Clear? So it has no any relation with this visual area. So we can see this area number 8 here, as well as on the medial aspect of this frontal gyrus here. So this area number 8 frontal eye field, it has a motor activity for the eyeball as a conjugate. See, for the conjugate eye movement. Clear? Now, what is this conjugate eye movement? Say, let me draw for this. You can see here. So you can see here. So this is the normal. This is, you can see, this is a straight vision. Clear? This is a straight vision. So in this conjugate eye movement, say this is the frontal eye field here. So any stimulus here, so this is the cerebral cortex, this is the cortex, and say suppose here is the area number 8. Okay, here is the area number 8. So any stimulus, any stimuli here will lead to cause the conjugate eye movement. So you can see here both eyes, left side as well as right side, both deviate to the other side. You can see. Clear? So this is the function of the area number 8. Now what will be the effect of the lesion? See what will be the effect of the lesion. You can understand here. Effect of lesion. Say any lesion over this frontal eye field here, this side, in this frontal eye field, it will cause the deviation of this eyeball to the side of the lesion. Clear? You can see the lesion is this side and they have deviated to the same side of the lesion. Clear? This Brodmann's area number 9, 10, 11 is also known as prefrontal area. So we can see this prefrontal area here, anterior to this area number 8, 6 here we can see here 9, 10, 11. So on this superior lateral aspect, as well as we can see this 9, 10, 11 here also. So this is the prefrontal area. So this prefrontal area is for individual personality. It is for the individual personality as well as any idea a person generate. Clear? So this area, this prefrontal area, it determines individual personalities for its emotion, its social behavior, its moral values, its how he judges the person, everything that is to be determined here in this prefrontal area. Clear? So this area is very important, and it also determines one's concentration of an individual. Clear? and orientation. Everything that is to be determined, that is the individual personality, is determined by this prefrontal area. Just for example, say right now you are watching this video. Okay, so you are watching this video, how much you concentrate yourself over the video, that is the individual personality. Clear? How much you can concentrate over any topic, even in your subject also, anything, that is to be determined by this prefrontal area. So what will be the effect of the lesion? So what will be the effect of lesion? A person which was earlier concentrated, was having a lot of concentration over any topic or a subject or the orientation, he will loss of all the features which have described, that individual personalities, its loss of its social behavior, loss in its moral value, loss in the concentration, loss in the orientation. So all this will be the effect of the lesion. So this area number 44 and 45, this is known as motor speech area. It's a motor speech area of Broca. Clear? So sometimes even it is asked only as an area of Broca area, as a Broca area. And this is important area for Viva, for examination, for MCQ. So this area 44 and 45, you can see here area 44 and 45. So this area is for the vocalization. Clear? Vocalizations means right now what I am speaking, this is because of the area 44 and 45. So this area 44 and 45, it has a good connection with the motors area, with this motor area. So here this is an area number 4 and this is area number 6. So it has a good connection with this motor area. And I've told you earlier that this area, area number 4, as you know, it is a voluntary control up to the opposite side of the body. But I've told you earlier that except this tongue, larynx, pharynx, mandible, so except these parts, so these parts have a bilateral control. So the other are this, you can see this area 4 can control to the opposite side, but these part, this tongue, larynx, pharynx, have a bilateral control. So means other side also control to these part. So this area 44 and 45, after the formation of the word, the signal goes to the motor area and accordingly the muscle respond and result in the vocalization. Clear? So what will be the effect of the lesion? The effect of the lesion will be, it will be expressive aphasia. It will be expressive aphasia. Clear? So as a result of this, expressive aphasia means can't able to speak, the speech, and this expressive aphasia is without paralysis. Clear? So let me explain you what is this. Say this area 44 and 45, what they do? They do the formation of the words, and that signals goes to the motor area, and motor area produce the speech. So though the area number 4 is working, the part is not paralyzed, but the lesion in the area number 44 and 45, it will lead to what? There will be no any formation of the word take place. So no information of the word take place means no signal will go to the area 4, that 6 and 4. Okay, so it lead to cause the expressive aphasia without paralysis. In this area number 3, 1 and 2, here we can see, so this area is known as primary sensory area, and the numbers are arranged before backward, 3, 1 and 2. Clear? This area for sensory input from the opposite half. Just remember, from the opposite half of the body. And this is for the sensory input, carries a sensory input from the opposite half of body, that is for exteroceptive, that is for the exteroceptive and proprioceptive. Clear? So this exteroceptive, that is for pain, temperature and touch, whereas the proprioceptive for vibration and joint sense. Clear? So this is the primary sensory area, and we can see the number, they are 3, 1 and 2. So this area number 3, for cutaneous sensation, carries cutaneous sensation, that is pain, temperature, touch, as well as pain, temperature, touch, as well as and vibration. This is for the proprioception, vibration from body. And area number 1, it carries cutaneous and joint sensation. Clear? Joint sensation. Whereas area number 2 for sensory input for the deep. This is for the deep. Okay, deep muscles and for joint sense. This is for the joint sense. Clear? So this is a function of the area number 3, 1 and 2. What will be the effect of the lesion? So it is often asked, what will be the effect of lesion? So effect of the lesion will be loss of sensation from the opposite half of the body. Clear? This is the effect of the lesion. We can understand the area occupancy, this area occupancy of sensory input in our body by this homunculus, as we have seen the homunculus in the motor area. So before this, see here, this is the medial aspect of this hemisphere. So this area number 3, 1 and 2 you can see on the medial aspect also, and similarly the numbers are arranged before backward. Now just understand this homunculus. So the area occupied in this homunculus, so we can understand by this image that the maximum area is occupied when we compared with the other part of the body. See the area of this lip is much higher, as well as the face, as well as in this hand and thumb. When you compare with this foot here, with this leg here, clear? So this figure shows that the area is directly proportional to sensory input. Clear? So though the part of the body which is higher, have a higher sensory input, will occupy larger area. Clear? So we can understand this, as well as we can understand here that the region of our body which, see here is this leg here, and see here is the trunk. Okay, from trunk, head, shoulder, hand, thumb, face, lip, jaw, tongue and the pharynx. The sensory input from the superior lateral aspect of this hemisphere, whereas this foot and genitalia, this perineum, this region is from this medial aspect. Clear? This secondary sensory area is present here on the inferior, at the inferior part of this area number 3, 1 and 2, that primary sensory area. Here in this region we see this secondary sensory area. Clear? So this secondary sensory area is for several cutaneous input, for several cutaneous sensation. This is for several cutaneous, this is for several cutaneous, let me correct, cutaneous input, but main is the pain. Clear? Brodmann's area number 5 and 7, also known as sensory association area. So this area is responsible for identifying the object. So by identify the object without looking. Clear? Say this identifying the object without looking on the basis of its shape. What will be its shape? Whether it is circular, whether it is rectangular, what the size, what the texture, everything, these shape, size, textures, that we identify the object without looking. Say example, I am holding a stone in my hand. Clear? So now without looking that thing, I can identify, yes, something I am in my hand that is solid in nature, first thing. So when further we do, then we can identify that the object which I am holding in my hand is somewhat circular or rectangular or irregular in shape. The size we can identify, so that we all able to do due to the area 5 and 7. Clear? So this feature is known as stereognosis. So what will be the effect? What will be the effect of the lesion? This is also asked. The effect of the lesion: one, fail to do the stereognosis. That is a stereognosis. Clear? Or This is tactile agnosis. A tactile agnosis.